You like switched it up. You took the iPad normally over there?
No, here, it's supposed to go over there. It was still charged.
How dare you take my
I
responsibility?
know.
I have one job up here and he takes it.
Anyone who got it on that one?
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised this crowd. I figured everybody would be snowed in and sitting there, and we got a big group online too.
I was expecting to do it in
33
February.
already.
Yep.
Wow. Cool. You know what? We should start with a message from Mr. Mark King.
Let's do.
Hello, Keller Williams, and welcome to a happy 2024. In fact, happy New Year to all of you. I'm really excited about 2024 for many reasons, not the least of which is Family Reunion coming up in Las Vegas, February 25th through the 29th, where we will see the amazing Tony Robbins, the amazing Mel Robbins, the amazing Gary Keller, and a whole lot of other amazing speakers. I can't wait to see you there. Secondly, this is the year of AI integration and command. Super excited about what that means for our business. And thirdly, there's a rumor out there that interest rates might fall just a little bit for mortgages. And so that's all good news for our business. Wishing you an amazing 2024. Have a great day.
So one thing he said about the AI and command, we actually ran a Facebook ad on a listing this last week, and AI created the wording in it. And it came up pretty cool. So it's already in there. It's going to be growing even more. But we got lots of good stuff coming up for us. That's cool. All right, Mark.
Hello, Keller Williams, and welcome to a happy
Only
2024.
one time.
In
You can
fact,
only present one time.
Enough's enough. All right, so it is time to meet somebody new. So you need to say hi to somebody you don't know. If you're online, you can just send a direct message to two people you don't know. You got 1 minute. Go. Go, go, go. I don't really know you. I know you. Good morning, good morning,
Oh, today is David's first KW meeting.
David.
Parks. Today's his first KW meeting.
Yay, all right.
That's fun.
So vendor guide, we have a lot less people on here because the new year has started and they got to add to the system again, correct? So we have, do we have anybody online or anybody in here?
Nicole said no.
No,
we're good.
nobody. So let's jump to Onward. Haley, what you got for us?
Hi, Haley with Onward. Just a reminder, as always, we have transaction coordination, marketing management, sign running, and closing gift baskets. Tish will probably be coming out with some new gift baskets for the new year here soon. Since previously we just had a bunch of Christmas baskets, but now that Christmas is over, hopefully we can get some revamped ones.
Very cool. So they can help you with anything and everything. Make sure and visit with them. They'll make your life easier. Every week we talk about either our mission, our vision, our visions, our belief, our perspective. Today's our perspective.
Yeah, and it talks about us being a technology company, which I believe that they are working on updating this.
I think
And so it says Keller Williams thinks like a top producer, acts like a trainer, consultant, and focuses on all its activities on service, productivity, and profitability.
So why would our perspective change?
Because as a company, we're evolving and we're growing all the time.
Exactly. So we're not stuck in the past.
And
We're
what
always
we
looking
focus
forward.
on expands, so it may be changing.
Oh, it's like a bold law.
Oh,
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so mission moment. Every week we like to recognize a mission winner. And last week, Tyler and Samantha Richardson, Tyler texted all of us and said, what, did you run out of other people? And I was the only one left.
Yeah.
Tyler, you're a great person and you're a great culture person. He's something else.
Yep. Always keeps us on our toes.
Exactly. So he has nominated someone he and Samantha have. Would you like to read who wins?
Yes. So for this cultural winner, they said she always has a smile on her face and a welcoming first impression, hence her job title. I do not think she has ever had a bad day. The experience starts when you walk through the front doors at KW, and Jimena exemplifies just that. So congratulations, Jimena Martinez, our Director of First Impressions.
Yay! She'll get the Steffes trophy for 1 week and she'll get the little army man for the rest of her life. She gets to keep it with her everywhere she goes. All right, Jim, broker moment. You got one thing for us, you said.
Come on up, right front and center.
And if we move out of the way, the camera will follow him.
I know.
It's so much fun.
Here we go again.
I'm dressed to leave. I've got an appointment that I have to take my wife to the doctor, so it's not, I'm not just here like this.
But you're in Keller Williams red and black, so.
That's right, exactly. And white. In the contract, next week, Don and I are, I think, together, we talk about the changes. But I wanted to point out one thing that is not a change. So if you looked at page 4 of your contract, the new contract is the same as the old contract in this respect. On line 201, it says regardless of the resolution period, time frame set forth above, if seller responds by declining to satisfy all items listed in an inspection notice from buyer and does not make a counter proposal, then this contract shall automatically terminate unless buyer delivers a capitulation notice to seller within 2 days if left blank after buyer's receipt of seller's response. I don't think most people understand that. I just want to make it clear again. If the seller responds by declining to satisfy all items, and the buyer does not capitulate, it's over in 2 days. Contract language, no questions, don't need a mutual release, even though you probably want one if there's earnest money, but it's just over. And I think most people miss that. It was pointed out to me by Doug Lutz and Dan Holt. They just wanted to remind me, and it was a good thing because I occasionally do forget things. So I want to point that out to you. Other than that, the new contracts aren't that bad. There is one section in there that I talked to Mike about that's going to be concerning for you, and I think has to be addressed, especially next week. And if you look at the title section, we'll see.
So next week's team meeting is gonna be all about the contract changes. So if you've got a team, it'd be good for all of them to be here. Anybody that's dealing with contracts, make sure you're here for that one.
If you have a question, you can call me.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sorry. Take care.
You're good. All right, here's the calendar for January. We do have copies online and up front. We are on the 9th already. I will be coming out to some of the Springfield Metro routes today, depending on weather, so I'll see some of you out there. And that's the end of the road routes until end of the month then.
Yep.
What are some of the cool things we have going?
So our first ALC meeting is this Thursday with our 2024 ALC. We would love for you to come be a part of it and listen in on the conversation. We're actually having Stephen Gens, who is the Market Center CPA, come talk to our ALC members about profit and loss statements. So as Adam Grady is our financial chair, that's a big focus on ours to ensure all our ALC members have P&Ls and how they're using it on a monthly basis. So he's going to come talk about that. So it would be a good knowledge for you to hear what he has to say on that portion of it. We do have free agent headshots. So if you're needing an updated headshot, feel free to come and schedule a time with Jimena. I think we have like 4 or 5 slots still available on Thursday. Those are free. And then we start Ignite. Shanna, do you want to come give us a little information on Ignite?
This girl's on fire.
She's away today.
And I is not the right one.
Is it the old one?
Luxury
Yes,
home
it
tour moved to the 24th.
Yeah, luxury home tour moved to the 24th, and the Nixon Mastermind is the 25th.
Okay,
Yeah, so
so,
that one's not.
so this Thursday or this Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah.
those 2 things are moved on. Don't worry about the luxury home tour or the mastermind. We'll get the updated calendar on there.
Okay, can I talk?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so first things first. Yesterday, we did our lead gen together and Rachel hosted our first Model Monday. A couple people in this room were here, and this is the amount of appointments that were set yesterday.
How cool is that? 17 appointments were set
Well, that
yesterday.
equal in dollars, you remember?
I do, $96,000 in GCI.
96,000 set for that. That is so cool.
Isn't that amazing? Super amazing. And Brad, you were there, so you can speak to this, and Rob, you were as well. Was it fun?
Folks back there?
It was great. It was good to be here. And it was nice just to have the people around you doing the same thing, kind of motivate each other. I didn't know there was going to be a free gift or a gift. So next time.
You know what?
Yeah.
I like
Free
prizes.
gift?
There was prizes. There's prizes. You never know what you're gonna get. So we did give a copy of an MREA or of like book. So yeah, so super
awesome.
exciting. Next piece of business is, yes, we're on fire, Ignite. It's gonna be amazing. We've got Amy Hunsaker Williams. We've got,
Guy Calloway.
Guy Calloway, I was gonna call him the name again. We've got Guy Calloway, we've got Maria Galgano, we've got Denise Knight, we've got several really great speakers. And I think, yep, there he is, Blake Cook, you're gonna do one of them too. This Ignite is slightly different than the ones in the past. We are broken into several sections and one instructor over the entire week. So a little more stickiness, a little more bonding between the people who are in the class and the people that are teaching the class. We already have about 12 or 13 people signed up for Ignite. So if you notice, there's plenty more seats. So get your booties in the seats. It'll be
We have
really
to
good
sign up
stuff.
for it.
You do have to sign up for it. Yep. Nicole, will you put a link in there for everybody?
How much does it cost?
It's free. Free 99.
The only thing is if you would like us to print and bind your materials, there will be a cost associated with that. However, there's digital copy and you can print your own stuff. Any questions?
This is one of the core classes that makes KW KW. So real estate school, right? It's all about laws, regulations, do not discriminate, fair housing.
Meets and
Now-
bounds,
Meets and bounds. And how many acres are in a square foot? Or
a lot of them.
43.
4356.
Where is it?
650.
Yeah, the one thing-
43,560. It's my favorite one to remember. And so now this is like, how do we get into a skill-based market? So this, it will get you into that skill base of how you can make sure that when you're talking to your sellers and you're negotiating offers or you're hosting open houses, it will give you all of the skills that you need in our skill-based market. We're moving from speed to skill now more than ever.
And I will say, you don't have to be a brand new agent to
No,
come
not at all.
participate. I've seen several faces of agents that have been in the business for quite a while. They come and they refresh, right? So it is still really cool to get down to the basics.
Yeah, and you get to hear from other agents in our market center of what they're doing, what their take is on it, and how can you take that and implement into your business too.
If you will surround yourself with people doing great things, you will start doing great things. So come to Ignite, come to ALC, come to all these things, just by being in the room where it happened, Hamilton reference there. You will learn and you'll get to the next level and stuff. So Mark King says, the biggest disadvantage you have is if you don't take advantage of Keller Williams things. He says it in a different way, much more eloquent. But all these things are here, but if you don't use them, you're actually at a disadvantage.
For sure.
All right, so one of the things we're excited about, we have all of the team meetings for first quarter blocked out. This is the schedule. So today we're gonna have Julia Lachey Israel, one of the top DEI speakers in the country, joining us by
The
Zoom.
DEI speaker.
The DEI speaker, the top one. Contract updates next week, family reunion panel, and meet the ALC on January 23rd. OTO, do you all know what the Ozarks Transportation Organization is? Do you know they could have given you info on the Kansas Expressway extension like 20 years ago? They know all the road changes that are coming. Their main person is gonna be here to talk with us and let us know what's going on. Did you know there's a road proposed to go from Battlefield down to Nixa? Did you know there's a road proposed at the end of Kansas Expressway over to the roundabout at the orthopedic hospital? You need to know these things so you can help people when they're buying in these certain areas. So we have somebody coming in for that.
Also, Mike knew because he had a binder of paperwork
That's
from
right.
20 years ago when it first got launched. It's in his office. I mean,
I've got it all still.
just,
And it's supposed to open here any minute, so. Vision breakfast, that's something you all need, I'm gonna come back to that in a second. Galentine's Day, we're gonna do that a little different this year. We're gonna have, because it's on a team meeting day, we're gonna do the meeting and then a Galentine's brunch afterwards.
yes, we are. It's my favorite event.
And Nicole will have memos for you.
Mimosas. She likes to call them
Oh, okay,
mimosas,
okay.
you know.
Red Day
She's
prep.
keeping us hip.
February 27th, that is, will be at family reunion, so no team meeting there. Family reunion, ahas and takeaways, Springfield School Spring Break. This is what I'm excited about. Lessons from a Super Bowl champion, a conversation with Grant Wistrom. How many of you realize we have a Super Bowl champion who's an agent here in our office? And I'm gonna talk to him about bringing in the trophy and the rings.
Oh, man.
So, but it's gonna be a great conversation there, and it's
At
gonna
least we
end
have to do
with
security.
Monica Reynolds in town. So we have a whole first quarter blocked out already. Mark your calendar. It's all here to help you get even better on the stuff you're doing. Okay, and Tuesday, tax day. If you do quarterly taxes, unless you're smart like some people in the room who have figured out how to not pay any taxes by putting it into real estate investments, good job. Your quarterly taxes from fourth quarter of last year are due on Tuesday. It's supposed to be the 15th, but that's a holiday, so it's bumped one day later. And back on Vision Breakfast, February 6th, 9 a.m. we'll have breakfast down here. It is like a recap of 2023 and a future visioning of 2024, but we need your help. We do a slideshow showing last year, and if you have any pictures from Red Day, from the summer opener, which is where we had the
Pineapple Whip.
Pineapple Whip here, the Halloween party and the Thanksgiving. Or any other event
Yeah.
that's gone on, the masterminds in Nixa, we need pictures to add to this. If you can, I guess it's the best way, email them to me.
Yeah. I would
Okay,
say so.
if you have pictures of any of those events, please email me, MikeBrown417@kw.com. We want to put as much as we can into that slideshow, but that's one of my favorite team meetings of the year. Breakfast at 9 o'clock, normal team meeting at 9:27, and it's the setting of the year and what we're gonna be doing.
And last year, this room was packed.
Yeah,
Absolutely packed, just to be able to recap the year and where we're going. It's important just as a market center that when we set our goals, that one, it's not just our goals, it's all our goals for our agents, but we also share our vision. Because if you don't know where our vision is going, how can we ensure that you have a clear picture of where your brokerage is heading and vice versa? Just like we want to know your goals so we can partner with you along that way too.
and so this year, we have a different breakfast provider. It should be here on time,
Okay.
so.
I'm sure no one remembered.
Oh, I did.
Well,
And that morning we had a tech issue too, so things were shutting down, like, oh my gosh.
Nicole
everything
said
came in.
breakfast burritos.
Yes.
Ooh.
It's taco, no, it's breakfast Tuesday, it's burrito Tuesday. No,
Okay.
that's not a thing.
Wanted an accent.
Okay.
That was close.
So mark your calendars, that's one of my favorite ones, be there. And tell us about this.
So I am so excited. The Monica Reynolds is coming to Springfield, Missouri to teach a class on the Millionaire Real Estate Operations Boot Camp. So if you are not an operations person and you're an agent, this class is still for you. So Monica normally teaches this in Austin, Texas, and she packs out the entire KWRI Learning Center. And so we're so excited that we get to be the first off-site training that she's coming in. It's coming to Springfield. Also, our very own Monica Keltz will be co-teaching this class with her as well. So we get double the Monica. So a little bit about this class. So this is going to be at Relics. It is a 2-day class. There is a cost or an investment to this class. If you have more than one person, you do get a discount on that. So we'll put the register link in there. You'll walk away with a notebook and a binder, probably this big, of 1-pagers of how anything operations, all the way from seller packets, buyers packets, open houses, conversations, anything you need to know, she will go through every single page. If you need information on like, maybe, do I do this, do I not? Talk to Jennifer Wolf from Evan DeShong and Austin Styles team. She had the opportunity to go in Austin and mind blown with the amount of information. There was different things, like even when you're building your team, of what kind of documentation you should have for each of your team members. When you're onboarding new team members, and when you're offboarding new team members, what does that look like? Phenomenal class, and this is just not for operations. This is great for agents as well. So I'm super excited, if you cannot tell, that she is coming to Springfield to do this, and we are hoping to make this a huge regional event as well for other market centers to come be a part of this.
Yeah, I'm excited. Do we know the price on it? Did you say that?
I don't know off the top of my head,
Okay.
so.
We'll get that to you, but that's gonna be a great one. And the fact that it's here, again, we don't understand what resources we have here in Springfield that aren't in most places.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
And if you need, like I said, Jennifer Wolf, she can tell you all of it. I mean, this thick of stuff. And Monica covered every single page. The very last part of it is also wealth building too.
Very cool. All right. Family reunion. There are 4 top reasons for coming to it. So number 1, it's the industry's biggest, what's that?
What's the fourth one he said?
It's the industry's biggest training, networking, cultural event. We typically have about 18,000 people at this. So, it says 15,000 there. I think it was 18,000 a couple years ago.
The typo.
It's inflation. And
TCPA,
don't call anybody
gotcha.
you're not supposed to.
Yep, there we go.
All right.
He always sprinkles it in somewhere.
Number 2, we've lined up a keynote speaker jackpot. That is Mel Robbins, who's now, they said, that the number 5 podcast in the country. Tony Robbins, who's the top motivational speaker ever. We're also going to Baskin Robbins, and Winnie the Pooh is going to have Christopher Robbins. So we
Okay,
got
here we
Robbins all over the place. And that other guy, who's that?
Gary Keller, which was also named the number 2 real estate leader in all of real estate industry. So I think it was, I'm gonna butcher it, Swainpool,
It's not a bad name,
the
yeah.
Swanpool, I don't know. He was number 2, Mark Willis was number 11, Mark King was number 115, top real estate leaders. Mel Robbins, this is her only speaking engagement for 2024. She has mentioned this on her podcast that she will be only with Keller Williams in 2024.
And number 3, explore the latest command updates in person. They actually have tech people on hand to help you with issues. My team is starting a list of things I'm supposed to go find out answers to. But they have, the vendor area is incredible. You're gonna see more stuff there. I'm gonna throw in a 3.5. I found a spot to get rooms, because I know it's expensive to get to Vegas, but I found a spot about 4 miles, so it's not that far away from it, for $150 a night. for suites. That's like a kitchen, living room area. If you're having trouble and you need to find an affordable spot to stay, talk to me. I can get you lined up on that too. All right, and number 4, Vegas, baby.
What else would I say? How many of you have been to Vegas?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. I have
Oh.
not. So
Oh,
I'm a little nervous, you know, a little overstimulation probably is gonna happen. And every agent, if you go, you're signing off that you will wear a backpack leash. So time for session, y'all, time for
We're gonna
session.
air tag everybody.
Yeah, there we go. That's a good idea.
I want to go see the Sphere. That thing is pretty amazing, so I want to see that. And even if, I don't know if you two is there while we're there, but I've heard it's amazing. So, all that stuff. And if you're a MAPS client, because Jen Davis is the head of MAPS, another wonderful Springfield connection we got. They have rented out House of Blues for the February 26th total party with the DJ Warren Peace. I love his name. He was the DJ for last year's party at the arena there at Anaheim, and that's gonna be a fun time too. I was at a private party at House of Blues in Anaheim in November, and it's cool when they have the whole area. If they do it the same way, it's gonna have food, beverage. I mean, it's just a giant party everywhere. So it's gonna be cool.
It's a great referral networking opportunity as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So we're gonna talk about that in 2 weeks. We're gonna have a family reunion panel for people to tell you what it is if you're unsure on it. If you get one referral from family reunion, that basically pays for your cost of doing it.
And if you want to go crazy, you could have matching outfits that you wear every single day, Carrie and Amy.
About that.
They had themed
I-
outfits every single day.
I think that'll be back.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly we're doing. We got a plan.
Yeah, it has to
It
come
takes
back.
a lot of planning, but
This is not a boring stuffy convention. This is a fun experience that also pushes your business to the next level. All right, and tech time. Nicole, you got something special for us today. What have you got?
Hi, good morning. Yes, I do. If you want to go to the next slide. So when everyone onboarded, you chose a profit share sponsor, correct? You also chose a beneficiary, just in case something happens to you, then this money that you are receiving for profit share ends up going somewhere else. Well, with the new update that came out last year and the market center switching to KW Command for your onboarding, some of that information may not have moved over. So this is just a little help how-to on how to update your beneficiary in your KW Command. First things first, you just click on your name and you click your profile. This is also how you can update any other information. You have a new address, you need to update your banking information. You can go to the next one.
Okay.
And then you just click My KW and beneficiary, and then you edit that information. You can see who your current beneficiary is, and then you can update it that way, or you can see if you even have one in there. So this is extremely important because obviously you have earned having these people as in your profit share downline, and you want to make sure that that money is going somewhere. Your family members, a trust. You can choose a trust. So go ahead and get this updated. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me as always.
It's super simple. Even I fixed it the other day on mine because nobody was in there. I didn't have it. So if you did it before this transition over, it's not showing up yet. Okay, stats for the week. Listings and contracts boomed as opposed to the week before. Obviously, we were on a holiday, but everything went up. Contracts stayed a little slow, which is normal in the middle of the month. But listings and contracts in every region went up. And the slides look a little different now. This one is compared to last week. And then now that we have the similar one, it looks the same as last year. So I don't have that silly arrow thing going. So last year, this time we had 225 listings in SOMO compared to 275 now. There are more houses available than this time last year. Everything's looking like I feel like it's about to happen. And those of you that are working hard to put everything in place, it's gonna be an insane year. Also, active listings as of Monday jumped huge. So what is that, like 50 some units? I've got these in blue because I think we're gonna hit 1,700 sometime in spring. So that's why I marked these. Those were the lowest ones we had in a ways, or the lowest ones that we've not been back up to, if that makes sense. So I'm watching to see when our active listings hit the 1,700 range. Then you're gonna see buyers come out like crazy and it's gonna be insanity. Have your systems in place before that happens, which is probably gonna be March. Realtor Weekly, Samantha, are you online?
She is. So super exciting. The Greater Springfield Board of Realtors have announced their new ambassador council. Samantha is one of the representatives, Ashlyn's the other, Andy Simmons and myself. And so Samantha created some slides. We had our first meeting last week. And so she wanted to make sure that she could communicate the updates from the board directly to you all. So Sam, take it away.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to let you guys know, like Rachel had said, Rachel, Andy, Ashlyn, and myself are all the 2024 ambassadors for the board. And what that means is we are just your connection between Keller Williams and GSBOR. So if you have any concerns or comments, come to us. Here's our contact information. Please put it in your phone. If it comes down to orientation, to a complaint, or just a simple question, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. So moving on into what we discussed at the board, just a friendly reminder, one of the things that they're seeing a lot of is advertising for properties that you do not have an agreement with. So just because you have an authorization to show on a property, it doesn't mean that you can market or advertise the property publicly. The GSBOR or any other local realtor Facebook pages are considered public. So we need to keep that in mind to be advertising for other people if they're not your listings.
Yeah, and Jeff had mentioned that he's going through and actually deleting a lot of the posts that he's seeing because so many agents are advertising it on a board page. So just keep that in mind, that that agreement does not mean agency to where you can legally market.
But you can internally on our page.
You can internally on our page, and we just have to be very careful
Right.
around that.
Okay.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So I'm farming the area and I sent out a flyer that had a active listing on it in the mail. So, I mean, it's not my listing. Is that?
Are you giving credit to whose the listing could be?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be a great question.
I think you.
You said it was active?
Yeah, it's an active listing.
Yeah,
And I'm farming the area, and so I just, said, here's, to the neighbors around us, here's a property that's for sale, and if you.
I would argue that that is okay because it's active.
and as long as you're notating who the listing
Okay.
agent is, yeah.
Make sure.
All right, cool.
Okay, Sam, on to the next.
Awesome. All right, guys, next slide. Dues are due. I know we talked about this a little bit last week. Here's a little breakdown that Mike had shown last week. The total for this year, I can't see, 538. And also I just want to remind you that there is a $50 late fee after February 1st. And then your membership will be terminated after March 1st or on March 1st if you do not get those paid.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. And then next, January 31st is the deadline for brokers to review and submit final agent production numbers for award purposes. The verification list will be sent to brokers. So if you've had any listings that did not get put on MLS, just let Jim or Dawn know so we can get those
And
taken
that's
care of.
So we'll get the list, and what our process is, we'll get the list, we'll email it out and say, congratulations, according to the GSBOR, you have qualified for X, Y, and Z production. Normally it's within a range, and we'll say, if you feel like there's an error, please let us know. If we say that you're between 9 and 11, it doesn't matter if you're 9.5, 10.1, we don't care as long as you're within that range. The other thing we'll let you know is if you've achieved that award 3 times, you should be getting a lifetime achievement and you're grandfathered in. So if you received your lifetime achievement plaque last year, and you're in the same category this year, you would not receive a certificate or anything like that too.
And this does not change your volume in Flex. This is only for the awards reasons.
Yep.
We had one broker who they put all their off-market things in, thinking that was all going into Flex. It is not. If you don't do it within the 4 days of it being closed, it's not there. This is just to make sure you get the right award.
Yep, perfect.
Sam, anything else?
All right. Yep. We have a calendar of events, and this will be in your email that you got on Sunday. So if you need to go back and see this again, this is just a list of all of the things that are up and coming at GSBOR. If you have any questions, just let one of us know.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that the ambassadors are gonna be able to help with all the board things. So we got 4 great people in here that know all the stuff there.
Yeah, I'm
Also-
super excited.
Thank you. Thanks for creating the slides too.
No
we wanna
problem.
I can't talk. We want to remind everyone of this Monday is MLK Day, and there's going to be I believe it's a parade starting at IceComp, at
Yeah,
Mediacom
Mediacom.
Ice Park. I need more Mountain Dew today.
It's a teacher.
So, yeah, it's the new teeth. Yeah, I'm getting used to them. So that is going on this Monday. Would make sure you're all aware of that. And the Winter Business Conference starts the next day in St. Louis. So lots of stuff going on. And the awards applications all is due by February 2nd. Same thing we were just talking about.
Mhm.
And we're up to our main thing of the
Now
day.
to the main event.
Julia, are you on? Julia, are you there?
I am absolutely here.
Yay.
Perfect.
Do we need to share screen for her?
If you could put up the slides that you have, your same slides you've been using there.
Got it. Okay, we got that, and we need to pin you, or Nicole can do that.
Nicole can pin her, yep.
Sweet.
Press the slides.
All right, the show is yours. Please tell us all you got for us today.
Thank you so much. First and foremost, thank you so much for having me here. If I have not had the pleasure of meeting you, my name is Julia Lachey Israel. I am the head of inclusion and belonging here at Keller Williams Realty International. Now, two things. I'm going to hold for a second here because do you want me to share it on the Zoom in for the people who are on Zoom?
Whichever,
Or is there someone here who can do that?
share the slides.
Yeah,
Because on Zoom, we can't see the slides.
Oh, you can't. We got two. Why don't I just give it to you? Let's
I can
that.
do it. Okay, I got it. Yep. And also I have a request, if you wouldn't mind. Most of you have your cameras off on Zoom. And since we're meeting on Zoom, if you're able to, would you mind participating in the meeting and turning your camera on? I'd love to see who the wonderful real estate agents are at this brokerage and at this market center. Thank you, Samantha and Andy. Way to be a team player. Y'all look so good. Maria, get it in, girl. I appreciate it. I love it. Please turn your cameras on if you can. I'm going to attempt now. I'm not in any way, shape, or form techie. I'm going to try to, I've been having some tech issues. I'm going to go ahead and try to share my screen, but I just wanted to join you today. First, I got a few things to say. I've been listening to your team meeting. I want to say something about family reunion. For starters, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It's expensive. It is expensive in Vegas. I'm actually trying to plan my mother's 70th birthday that weekend before. Everything is expensive. And I'd like you to know it is so worth it. It is going to be so worth it. I have not been this excited about a family reunion, and I can't even remember when. I have been going to family reunions for, I can't even tell you how long. And this one in particular with Mark Willis being back, oh man, it's going to be phenomenal. So if you aren't planning on going, I would encourage you to try to rethink that and really and try to get there. It will absolutely be probably one of the best events you can think of. So anyways, that's my plug for that. I just wanted to plug that because I'm super excited about it. I hope your whole market center can come. Second, I want to tell you why I'm here. I'm on a journey and I am inviting you to come along with me. And that journey is to make Keller Williams the most inclusive real estate company in the world. We've been saying that, Mark King kind of started that. Keller Williams, we've been the most inclusive real estate company in the world. But here's another thing. I kind of think we already are. We have 165,000 agents in 58 countries, and I don't really know any other real estate company that's doing that. But we do have some room for growth. And here's where you come in, and the journey I'd like you to join me on is when I took on this role. Well, let me back up. I'll say I've been with Keller Williams for 18 of my 23 years in real estate now. And I joined this brokerage. I literally walked in to a market center in Minneapolis. Someone told me this guy named John was a nice guy and I should go and meet with him and transfer my license there. And I walked into this office and sure enough, he was. Honestly, I'll be honest with you, he looked rich. I thought he had a boat on Lake Minnetonka. If you know anything about Prince, he sings about Lake Minnetonka because that's where Prince lived. And so I was like, this looks like a cool place. And this guy looks like a nice guy. And that literally is the reason I transferred my license to Keller Williams. And it's proven to be the best decision of my life. So this journey that I'm on to make Keller Williams the most inclusive real estate company involves you, because what I'd like to do is all over the world, in all 800 of our market centers, I'd like to be able to send anybody to your market center, no matter who they are, what they look like, where they come from, what they believe, how they dress, who they love, whatever it is. And they walk into your market center and they say, wow, this is the place where entrepreneurs thrive. This is going to be the place where I build this big, amazing business. And I found out over the last couple of years, I can't do that by myself. And I also found out that a lot of people kind of don't really know what we mean by diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I'll explain to you what we mean by that and where you come in. And I'll talk to you a little bit about, we actually have a whole class called Inclusive Leadership. That's an hour long that we're offering on the 22nd. And that's why you see the slide up here. That's can y'all see that on Zoom? Do y'all see okay, good. Yeah. And also we have a certification, a diversity certification. So I'll talk to you about all those things in one in this 20 minutes here. But first I want to just explain to you what we mean by diversity, equity, and inclusion and where you fit into that. And the reason I feel like I need to explain that is because if you've been paying any attention at all, that word, those words, that acronym DEI has a really interesting meaning depending on who you ask. And I think it's widely misunderstood. And so I'm also on a mission to tell the world what that looks like and how we do it here. And what it is just diversity is literally all of us. It is literally every single person that you meet is different. I've never met two people that were the same. All of you on the Zoom are different. Everybody in that room is different in some way, shape, or form. Diversity is just our individual uniqueness. Oftentimes when we talk about diversity, for some reason, people's mind immediately goes to race. And I'd like to ask you to rethink that. You have a wildly diverse market center. Sometimes I'll travel places and they'll say, Julia, now when you get here, we don't have that much diversity. And I never knew what that meant because it doesn't matter what room I walk into. Even if people look the same, I can guarantee you there's 1,000 things that make them different. And that's what diversity is. In fact, in real estate, the #1 fair housing violation is against people with disabilities, which also, by the way, 1 in 4 adults have. 25% of your database has some documented disability. 25% of your market center has some documented disability. And we're not always doing our best to service people, which, by the way, also any of us could become disabled at any point. And so that's diversity. Religion happens to be the oldest and most meaningful way that people differ, which we're experiencing right now, by the way. There's a lot of ways people differ. That's what diversity is. So your market center is already wildly diverse. The equity part is just because we're all different, we probably all come from somewhere different and have different backgrounds and different stories. And maybe we're from somewhere different geographically, maybe even somewhere across the world different that we're from. Everybody came and had a different starting place. Equity recognizes that we didn't all start at the exact same place. We have different stories. And maybe we need different tools and training and resources to reach the same level of outcome. I use down payment assistance as an example. Some of my clients need down payment assistance and some of them don't. That's equity by definition. So when we practice things like that, we are actually practicing equity. The inclusion part is easy. Also, by the way, the E in the Y4C2Ts that we have is equity opportunities for all. We happen to have a ton of opportunities at Keller Williams Realty. I mean, a cajillion. If you've ever taken the KPA and you look at that back page, job match, there's a bunch of jobs you didn't even know existed. You're like, what is that even? There's so many opportunities that exist at Keller Williams. So the equity part for us is that we want all the diverse people, all of you, to have access to all of those opportunities. The I part is just the inclusion part, and this is the part we're talking about today. We want you all to do it here at Keller Williams. You don't have to go to some other brokerage or some other place or create some other thing, or we want all the people to have access to all the things right here in Keller Williams at your market center. That's what diversity, equity, and inclusion means to us. And the inclusion part includes you, because when somebody comes in there, I want them to feel like I felt when I walked into that Minneapolis market center. I want them to look at you and say, y'all look rich. I want to work here with you. That's the inclusion part of the conversation, and it involves all of us. And it really starts with you, one, understanding what we mean by diversity, equity, and inclusion. You understanding that everybody is different. I can guarantee you every single one of your clients are different. The ones you're going to meet today, they're going to be different too. In some way, shape, or form. They're going to need different things. You are already practicing diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'd love for you to practice that in your market centers by just recognizing that and recognizing that we actually all are very different. Show of hands, how many of you have taken unconscious bias that I teach? Any of you? Well, thank you very much. Several of you. Great. There's a lot of opportunity for the rest of you. I think I'm doing it on Thursday. If you want to go to events.kw.com. So some of you have heard this analogy before, and this will be new for the rest of you who've not been. But I use this analogy of a yellow vase. So just pretend that we have a big yellow vase in the middle of the screen here. Just in your mind, pretend we're looking at a big yellow vase. And I'll use myself as an example. Me, I'm originally from Seattle. I have 3 older brothers who currently are all ignoring my text messages. Our parents are ministers. I moved to Seattle, moved to Minneapolis, lived there for 25 years. I have a story, and because of my background and my upbringing and my individuality, I look at the world through my own personal lens. Everything I look at is through my lens, through my background and my upbringing and my story and my experiences and my individuality as a Black woman in America. And so let's call my lens, let's call it red. If I'm looking at a big yellow vase through my red lens, for me, it's orange. But you all are from somewhere different, and you probably have different upbringings, and maybe your brothers are responding to your text messages this week, and maybe you have a different family structure or whatever that might be, but you're looking at the world through a different lens. Let's call your lens blue. If you're looking at the big yellow vase through your blue lens, what color is it for you? Someone who's good with primary color, scream it out.
Green.
Green, perfect. Mine's orange. Yours is green. Who's right or wrong?
No one.
No one?
That's right. No one.
Or we're both wrong because it's yellow? It's really about perspective. We have a different perspective of the same thing. I can guarantee you every single person that walks through the doors of that market center has a different perspective of everything, of your team meeting. We're looking at it different. I have a different perspective of it because I'm on Zoom and you're in the training room there. Everybody has a different perspective of the same thing. It doesn't necessarily make it right or wrong, it makes it different. And the challenge that we have is, for some reason, we want to get on Facebook and fight about it. If I showed you all the screenshots that I get from agents that are like, and look what somebody said, they said it's green. It's orange. No, it's orange. No, it's green. Well, you know what? If they don't see it orange, then they maybe shouldn't be at Keller Williams. Maybe they're not a fit. I get that one a lot. They're out of culture. They said it's green. Everybody knows it's orange. And it's very interesting that for whatever reason, we think everybody should have our perspective. And if you don't, you're wrong. Rather than looking at it from the fact of you have a different perspective than me. By the way, I don't even need to agree with your perspective. It's yours. I'm not in your shoes. I don't have your story. I didn't come from where you come from. We have a very different perspective of the same thing. And I think that's okay. I think we can still play in the sandbox together. I still got a buyer that wants to buy and you got a seller that wants to sell. I think we can still be very successful together with different perspectives. But for some reason, people spend a lot of time fighting about the fact that yours was different than mine. And I don't know that we should be spending that time and energy on it. It's funny, you all said, when I said who's right or wrong, you said no one. I actually was where was I? It's in Virginia, North Carolina. I was in North Carolina, and I asked that question at an association. And I said, so do we need to get on Facebook and fight about it? And the man actually said yes. Now, I thought he was kidding, but he was dead serious. He was like, yes, he really felt like he needed to spend the time to get people to see it his way, which I found fascinating because before I started the class, I overheard him talking about this $700,000 listing that he couldn't get sold. And I'm thinking, you want to invest your energy on debating whether or not it's orange or yellow or green or blue, or somebody said it was purple. And shouldn't you be marketing? Shouldn't you be selling houses? It's fascinating. So friends, the inclusive leadership class that I would like to invite you to take the full thing of really talks about not just in your market center, but in your business. How about in your home? How about looking at different perspectives of people? Because quite honestly, the different perspectives are what make our businesses grow. If there was a bunch of people running around here like Julia, I can guarantee you this place would be a hot mess. I'm so glad it's diverse. I'm so glad there's a Mark King and a Mark Willis, and they're different, and a Gary Kettler. And I'm so glad there's all the different people that exist that have different perspectives. Because sometimes in those meetings, I say, I don't know, guys, I don't see it that way. I saw it green, or I saw it orange. And that's actually what makes a really strong business. So considering that in your business, in your market center, in your home, even little people have different perspectives that maybe we should consider sometimes. But really exploring that. And so in that class, we talk about exploring your leadership, and it starts with you. That's why I asked about your perspectives. Where are you at with the conversation of people being different and the diversity, equity, and inclusion? And then we have something else that we kind of have evolved into is we have a diversity certification called Agent of Distinction. And so before we part ways today, I just want to briefly tell you about some of those. I've kind of combined some steps from inclusive leadership, because in inclusive leadership, we talk about 5 steps to be an inclusive leader. And in the Agent of Distinction certification, we talk about 5 steps to become an agent of distinction. And I've kind of combined them for you today because we have shortened time, and I really just want you to think about these things. And if you have something to write on, maybe you can jot them down. But the first one is I really do want you just to examine where you are with the concept of diversity, equity, and inclusion. The fact that all your clients are different, and some of them are going to need things the other ones didn't. And where are you with the fact that people do have a different perspective than you, a different religion than you, a different idea than you? Is that okay with you, that everybody isn't just like you? And so really the first one is understanding where you stand with the concept of diversity. And then the second thing I would say is how do you create an environment where you are continually learning? We are a learning-based company. It is our 6 personal perspectives is to continually learn. What I have found is that my favorite thing actually about this job are all the people I meet. In every city I go to, everybody thinks that their town is unique. Oh, we've got this problem here, or oh, we've got this, and they're really not. The more I learn about people, the more I learn that we're also wildly different, yet we're so much the same. We're actually more alike than we are unalike. And it doesn't matter what town I'm in, or what city, or what country. We are more alike than we're unalike. But I only know that because I've met a lot of people, and I learn a lot about people. And in a people business, which by the way, friends, 100% of your clients are people. As of right now, the AI thing hasn't taken over that. Your clients are all people. And in a people business, I think we should invest some time in learning more about people. I read a statistic that said 36% of people in the United States have never left their zip code. How scary is that?
How many was that?
36% of people never left their zip code.
Wow.
Whoa.
Can you imagine how small of a perspective you must have if the only people you know live in your little radius? And there's so many people out here. I would encourage you to learn about people in other zip codes. And the more you learn about people, the bigger we have a bold law. Your business grows to the extent that you do. The more you learn about people, the bigger your world will become, and the bigger your business will become. So my second thing for you is to just learn, be learning based, right? And the third thing is to think about what a sense of belonging looks like. In our market centers, I chose inclusion and belonging because the inclusion part means that people walk into your market center and they feel like they belong there. Or they walk into your company, your presence, and they feel like they belong there. But that actually takes intentionality. It doesn't just happen. Even in your home, for people come to your home and they feel like, wow, I really feel like I belong. That takes intentionality. What do we need to do to create a sense of belonging, which, by the way, is a fundamental human desire that people have? If you're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, above what they're going to eat, above what they're going to make, above whatever your split is at your market center or how cool your training classes are, nobody cares if they walk in there and they don't feel like they belong. How do you make people feel like they belong there? That's the third thing. And the fourth thing is simple. I'm going to ask everybody to just simply adhere to our Y4C2Ts. Win-win or no deal. We do things with integrity. The client comes first. Just really think about what that looks like, all the way down to the E, the equity opportunities for all. How does that look in your business? But we have systems and models, and that's one you can live by. I get a lot of calls where people say, well, So-and-so saw it green and so-and-so saw it orange and so-and-so. And I said, well, tell me what part of the Y4C2Ts did they not abide by? Well, it's not that. Well, then what is it? Well, they, this and that. So they saw it differently than you, and therefore they shouldn't be here. I get a lot of that. They don't see it like I see it, so they shouldn't be here, which is not inclusion, by the way. So really consider, what do the Y4C2Ts mean to you? And then last, I love what I heard about your involvement in the Greater Springfield Board, because last but not least, I think we should get involved. People in the United States build wealth through the acquisition of real estate. The way that wealth is transferred in the United States is primarily through real estate. We are at the helm of each and every single one of those transactions. We, friends, are the transferers of the wealth of America. We do it every day. It's bigger than GCI. It's bigger than units. It is literally the most impactful thing in American society. And they're making rules about how we do it and who gets to have it. So what I think we should do is make sure that we are there when those rules are being made. That goes all the way down to the ALC. You get the opportunity to participate in the ALC, you should. It's your responsibility. If you get the opportunity to participate in your local board, you should. You should absolutely be there to make those decisions. In your community, in your zoning boards, and all those things, anything real estate related. There's a saying that if real estate is your career, politics is your business. You got to get involved in all of those things. And so I appreciate those of you who are involved in making the decisions on the ALC, and making the decisions on the local board, and making the decisions in your city and your communities and your zonings and your commissions and all of those things. But I think that's our responsibility as the transferers of the wealth of America. And so those, friends, are my 5 steps. Understand diversity. Be learning based. Create that sense of belonging, commit to the Y4C2Ts, and then get involved. And so in short, what this whole thing is basically the Agent of Distinction certification. How do you become an agent of distinction? How do you learn more about people? How do you learn how to market to people to get more people? How do you grow your business through your community partnerships and your involvement in real estate? I have a team in Minneapolis. There's 6 of us. And 100% of our business comes from our community. This year, we're not doing so well. I won't tell you our numbers, but normally we're around 60 million. and we do 60 million in volume from the Habitat, from the church down the street, from anybody in the community knows who the Signature Group is. We are involved in the local associations and the boards, and we literally do $60 million in real estate volume through our community involvement. That's how we built our business. 1, because we should be in the community, and 2, because you make a lot of money being involved in the community. But that's kind of what this is about. And you can take this certification all by yourself, on your own. You can do it online. It's just, if you go to kwagentofdistinction.com, you can do it by yourself, or once a quarter. We do it as a cohort. And we meet. We're going to meet every every Wednesday in March, excuse me, for 4 weeks and do it together. And we've created for you to learn more about people, learn more about how to impact people in real estate, and for you to become an agent of distinction. And so it does cost money. I wish it was free. I think it should be free. However, we have a very robust diversity, equity, and inclusion GPS this year. And guess what? All these things cost money. So we have to pay for it somehow. So we actually use the money from the diversity certification to pay for all of our initiatives. And you can either just donate to the cause if you just find it in your heart, or you can actually learn how to grow your business and do that. But that's what this is. So I'd invite you to at least join the website to explore how to be it in any of the classes that you find on kwevents.com. I invite you to teach. I'm actually teaching The Color of Real Estate right after this today. You can find that on events.kw.com. But that's kind of what it's all about. It's about learning how to be a better real estate agent. It's about learning how to make our market centers and your real estate businesses more inclusive so we can do more business. But it absolutely positively all starts with you. So that's my spiel. Whew. I said a lot. I'd love to hear from you all on what questions you might have.
I have 2 questions on your classes real quick.
Yeah.
One of the unconscious or the one today, what's it called?
Color of Real Estate.
That's at 11, is that correct? We're Central Time, so we're the same time as you.
Yes, that is at 11, yes, yeah.
Is it too late to get into that or can they do
No,
that?
it is not. I invite you to come. If you go to events.kw.com, you should be able to get the link. And I wish I could just give you the link, but I would put it in the chat, but I don't have it offhand, but it's just events.kw.com. You should be able to find today's class, Color of Real Estate at 11. And I'd love for you to join me. That class is about really our role in real estate and the history of it. If we are really going to be good fiduciaries, we should probably understand the history of this land that we're transferring, and where we come in, like what our role is in that. But thank you, Nicole.
Nicole's amazing. Is that the class where you have the Adam Ruins Everything?
Yes, yes.
Okay, gang, it's a snow, we're very thin today because we got snow coming in. If you're
Oh,
sitting at home, go to this class. That video alone will terrify you on what has been wrong in our country in the past on the real estate side. And so this class is absolutely incredible. It will help you more than you can imagine. And is there a cost on that one?
No, unconscious bias and Color of Real Estate are both free, as well as inclusive leadership on the 22nd. Those are all free. The only thing that costs money is the certification.
And if we have 10 or more people that want to do the group one, how do we do that?
Wonderful. You just email us at equity@kw.com. We'll put your whole market center in there.
Okay.
Now, I want to say, you mentioned the Color of Real Estate. You said it will horrify you what's been done. Here's where I find a lot of enjoyment. There has been some wrong done in the history. We have a goal each year of having 10,000 agents come to Unconscious Bias and Color of Real Estate because we've done the math. If at least one of those agents, one of those 10,000 do something different with one client, we single-handedly, as Keller Williams, could close the homeownership gap in the United States. We have enough people to, by ourselves, as the Keller Williams organization, close the homeownership gap. We have a small army. And if we can just equip our agents with the knowledge we need to help just one more family, by ourselves, we can right some of that wrong. Yeah.
Any questions in the room or online? I did have one other question. Oh, one of the things you said, culture is the hardest thing. Because when we have conflicts between agents, culture means different things to different people. And as leadership, that's one of our biggest struggles, is when two people have differing views and that darn vase is different colors for different people.
Yeah.
And that's the thing we run into a lot, is what does culture mean and how do we balance that against all the diversity of even our local market center?
Absolutely. And I think it's a really simple answer. I think it boils down to respect. One of my favorite conversations is actually an agent called me last year and said, hey, I wanted to call you and share my perspective about an event I went to. I didn't feel included and I didn't feel like I belonged. And he shared with me why, whatever had transpired, it was probably something with God, family, business. I can't remember the details, but he was an atheist. And what had taken place made him feel uncomfortable. Now, mind you, I just told you that my parents are ministers. I actually grew up in the church. So I heard his perspective of what happened at the event. By the way, I was at the same event. We had a very different perspective of the same thing. And he shared it with me. And like you all said, I recognized right away he wasn't wrong. Nothing he was saying was wrong. Very different than my perspective, which, by the way, just by simply respecting his perspective doesn't mean I now need to become an atheist. I don't need to now believe what you believe to respect what you believe. And what I wanted to do was find a solution of how does he I want him to come to the events and feel included. And he still wants me to be the head of inclusion and belonging. So the conundrum we find ourselves in is how, when all the people see all the things differently, do we create a space where you can have very different perspectives and still come to the same space? And it literally always just boils down to respect. I respected everything he said. I understood nothing he said was wrong, different than me, but not wrong. And I respect the fact that he sees it that way. And the solution I'm looking for is the grounds where we can all play in that sandbox together, where you can come and feel welcome and I can come and feel welcome, and we can agree to have different perspectives because I respect yours and you respect mine. Because we recognize that we can't be the largest real estate company in the world if we actually all think the same thing and believe the same thing. We can't be in 58 countries if only my way is the right way. And so when you have these differences of opinion, which we have quite often, I always say real estate is easy, people are hard. That, you know, when you have these differences, it all boils down to where can we find a respectable place, foundational grounds. Our market center should be a place where everybody can come and have a difference of opinion, and I respect yours. I might even respect yours more if you keep it to yourself sometimes. You know, like sometimes some of the people think that's a great thing to just go ahead and keep to yourself when you come to the market center. Now, when you go home, you can do whatever you want to do. But in the market center, we respect everybody's belief and everybody's perspective and everybody's religion and everybody's sexual orientation and everybody's everything. Here in the market center, that's what we do here. Yeah. Because you know what? We sell houses. It's not a social justice organization. It's not a religious organization. It's actually a real estate company. And here we sell houses, and we're going to have a lot of different perspectives and opinions. And so when you walk through these doors, we all just become a realtor, and we respect each other's opinions.
And
Which
100%,
means you might need to keep yours to yourself. Yeah.
and 100% of the people we deal with are people.
100% of our clients are people, and 100% of our agents are people.
I'm gonna steal the screen back from you real quick.
Please do. Yeah.
So we end every meeting asking this question. So what are your action items from what you've heard today? Anybody got anything they want to share online, in-house?
I'll register for the event. I'm interested.
Please. Thank you.
And the class today especially too. That's,
Yes.
is it an hour? Is that correct?
That's correct. Actually, it's an hour and a half. So if you have an hour and a half today.
And Julia, I'm known as the person with lots of trivia that doesn't matter. But you mentioned Prince. And
Yeah.
we have Missouri State University here in town, and when they built their band hall in the 90s, they were looking for a good used soundboard, and they bought the one from Paisley Park.
Oh, wow.
The soundboard that recorded all of Prince's 80s and 90s stuff was in existence here in Springfield for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, that will change nobody's life, but.
It is true.
Well, thanks for sharing it. Yeah.
Thank you
Well,
for being
friends,
here.
I just want to wrap up by saying thank you. Thanks for having me at your team meeting. Thanks for being here at Keller Williams. Thanks for being you. You are what makes us the most diverse real estate company in the world. So thank you for being you, and thank you for being here. And I sure hope I get to see you at family reunion.
And we know you could have spent your morning with anybody on earth, and we're glad you shared it with us. So thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Reminder, next week's class is on the contract changes. Please make sure you're here. Anybody that deals with contracts should be here for that. And have a great, safe day. Stay out of the ditches. Be careful. Take more time to get somewhere. The weather will go away and we can get there later. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you.